I am a little bit more than irritated at these protests. And many of you keep saying, well, they have the right to protest. I don't disagree. Many people were saying they're scared of Trump, so I don't disagree with that. Many people were saying that they don't like Trump's racist rhetoric. I don't disagree with that either. Actually, a lot of things that are being protested, I don't disagree. But what I don't like, however, is this selective protesting seems to be very reminiscent of what's called a lot of times selective memory. And they seem to be going hand in hand right now. Because you all waited till after y'all thought Hillary Clinton was about to just sweep the nation with a victory for all white women, and Trump is going to be just drowned in defeat to the point where he will go under a rock and never come back again. But when that doesn't happen, all of a sudden, you all want to come out and protest. So what you're telling me is the collusion with the DNC and the mainstream media didn't cause you to protest. Not everybody. There were some of you out there, because I was with you. You know who you are if you were out there protesting. But it was the minority of liberals protesting, not the majority. But anyway, so the collusion between the DNC and the media didn't cause you to protest. The content of the emails did not cause you to protest. The fact that a woman in Hillary Clinton and James Comey, the director of the FBI, single-handedly changed all legal precedents as far as what is considered indictable as far as intent or lack of intent, because I can assure you before, that was not the criteria for someone being indicted. That didn't cause you to protest. Bernie being cheated out of his primary victory, even after hundreds of thousands of people came out to see him, that isn't what caused you to protest. People being bombed in Syria daily, that didn't cause you to protest. Hillary Clinton single-handedly putting us in DEFCON 3 with Russia simply to perpetuate her narrative that Russia was trying to steal our elections so that we could completely ignore the content of those emails, that didn't cause you to protest. Granted, I'm glad that whenever a cop shoots a black male or a cop shoots another minority, some of you are out there with us, but usually those are the Bernie supporters, from what I've been seeing. But where are you after the protest is over? Because you weren't organizing with us. I rarely see y'all with Black Lives Matter afterwards. But you know what? Let's move on. Let's talk about the fact that North Dakota pipeline has received little to no attention from mainstream media. Little to no attention from CNN, little to no attention from MSNBC, damn sure ain't getting no attention from Fox News. But that didn't cause you to protest. That didn't cause you to go out and riot. Yeah, I see some of you Facebook warriors hopping on the Facebook and talking about how sad it is that the North Dakota pipeline our access pipeline is going through Indian burial, Native American burial grounds and things like that. But that's not causing you to go out there and riot. What else happened? Oh, Debbie Wasserman Schultz being fired for rigging the primary and then being hired by Hillary Clinton. That didn't cause you to protest. Donna Brazile giving questions to Hillary Clinton illegally, being fired, and then Wolf Blitzer still being hired after it was proved that he also colluded with the media. Black women fired for doing the exact same thing a white man did, but y'all didn't give a shit because it was bolstering Hillary. Y'all didn't protest that. And I'm starting to get pissed because I'm tired of this privilege perpetuated by Hillary and her fan base. I'm starting to get irritated. Because you talk about the privileges of others. You talk about the privileges of white man. But y'all do not understand the simple privilege of autonomy and sovereignty. And you all have it. That is why you can protest in the street and not get shot down. That is why you should have protested whenever y'all lost this election, whenever Bernie had it stolen from him to begin with. Because that is the time y'all lost this election. It wasn't the morning of November 9th. It was July 25th through the 28th at the Democratic National Convention, when superdelegates had a clear opportunity to save this country and the entire world. When Hillary's crooked delegates had the opportunity to save this country and the entire world. Whenever the entire convention had an opportunity to recognize the fact that Bernie Sanders had won 2 roll call votes before they finally handed it to Hillary Clinton. There were a minority of people protesting. I say minority because, yeah, there were several thousand of us out there at the Democratic National Convention. There were several thousand out there. I'm not going to lie. But you got 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000, in some places 100,000 people protesting. Why? Because Hillary lost the election. That is not protesting racism. That is not protesting racist rhetoric. Because, matter of fact, no, I take that back. You are protesting racist rhetoric. You're not protesting racism. You're just protesting racist rhetoric because you feel like you may somehow be affected by the racist rhetoric of Donald Trump, by the racist policies of some of the Republicans. That is the only reason you are protesting. You didn't care when kids were being bombed in Syria. You didn't care whenever the Great Britain exited the European Union and racism was spun because of that. By our policies. People think that we have nothing to do with Great Britain exiting the European Union. You done lost your mind. Where do you think those immigrants are coming from? From the damn countries we're bombing. You weren't protesting that though. You're not protesting what's happening in Yemen. You're not protesting the fact that education has become a matter of national security and we're still allowing property taxes to pay for our schools because you damn liberals are coming from the schools benefiting the most from the property taxes. You're not in Chicago right now standing in front of bullets from a fucking economic system that's perpetuating the failure of black male after black male after black male. Y'all not protesting because you care about me. You're not protesting because you care about your neighbor. You're protesting because you care about yourself. And only when the fear of your self-sovereignty is put to the forefront, that is when you decide to protest. Because what are your demands? Oh, I don't want Trump to win. So you want Hillary to win? Because if you want Hillary to win, then you don't understand why you're protesting to begin with. Because you say you protest racism, but Hillary is obviously racist. I don't know what it's going to take. What, because she doesn't explicitly say it? Oh, it's okay if you're implicit racist in the liberal white person's world, or in the liberal left's world, they like to call it. It's okay being implicitly racist as long as you apologize for it later. Not only implicitly racist, but passing implicitly racist policies. Advocating for implicitly, systematically racist policies. That's okay. But as long as you don't say it, y'all are killing me right now. Because at first, I was like, it's their right to protest. But y'all don't even know what y'all want. You're not protesting racism. Racism existed. That is how Donald Trump got elected. What is so hard to understand about that? If you're protesting a man because you're worried about what kind of effect he will have on this country, then you aren't protesting racism. You're protesting Donald Trump. You may be protesting Republicans, but you aren't protesting racism. You aren't protesting bigotry. You're not protesting sexism. You're protesting Donald Trump because you're sour that Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump have simultaneously exposed the truth about the fabric of this nation. You are inherently selfish. You are inherently and implicitly racist because guess what? It doesn't take explicit racism to see that you all don't give a shit about the people in the Middle East. You all don't give a shit about the people who have died in Iraq and Afghanistan for our money. You all don't give a shit about the people who died in Syria so far. You don't give a shit about the people who have died in Yemen. You don't give a shit about the veterans who are sleeping on the street because only 2% of our entire budget goes to veterans. But you want me to believe that you're out there protesting because you want to fight bigotry, because you want to fight sexism. No, because you could have stopped it whenever we were at the primaries and there was actually a candidate who had been preaching against all the nonsense that Trump represents, all the implicit nonsense that Hillary Clinton represents. He has been against it. And even if it wasn't Bernie, Bernie brought out all the people who were also against it from the very beginning. But even still, if you don't want Bernie because Bernie may be old, if you don't want Bernie because he may be too left, you know what? Damn all that. He represented democracy. He represented liberty and freedom of livelihood. He wanted to make sure that not only the people of America had personal sovereignty, but everybody had personal sovereignty. That is what this man represented. And you all sat at home laughing because you just had to have the first white woman president. And you all are so curious why all of a sudden y'all have all this visibility as you're protesting, hundreds of thousands in the street. I would say at least 100,000 people have been through North Dakota access pipeline. And y'all haven't seen that. Y'all still haven't seen the videos upon footage of what was happening at the Democratic National Convention while the people inside the Democratic National Convention were trying to pretend there wasn't an explosion outside. A lot of y'all did not see the the delegates of Bernie Sanders stage a walkout while y'all were sitting there cheering and smiling and clapping. Oh my God, I'm with her. And right at the bottom of the convention, there was a walkout. And y'all didn't see it. And you're wondering why CNN, MSNBC, all these liberal media sources are now going out of their way to show you this protest? You are serving the very interest that you are supposedly trying to fight. If you're going to protest, protest with a plan. Get organized. Run for office. Help someone else who's running for office. Take your town council back from your Republican counterparts. Take your U.S. Senate back. Take your House of Representatives back. Take your state Senate back. Take your state assembly back. But this is a hissy fit. That's all this is. This is a hissy fit because you haven't gotten what you want. I'm tired of it. I'm really not the type of person who complains because, when you live the type of life I live, you have a lot to complain about. You realize it don't really do you any good if you're not willing to make that change yourself. But I am the type of person who gets pissed whenever people throw themselves a damn pity party. If your first time, because I know if you're out there protesting right now, it's because you've been watching at least to some extent. And if you're out there protesting right now, and this is the first time you're protesting in the last year, you are wrong. Call me pompous, call me hubristic, call me egotistical, whatever. You're wrong. If this is the first time that you've organized anything in the last year, when you've been witnessing democracy stolen, saying that politics is just dirty. This is Hillary Clinton, it's her time. Trump can't possibly win. America's not that bad. I'm a black man living in America, originally from New York, but I lived in the South most of my life. It is that bad, and we told you it was that bad. We told you. Don't go out there and scream at the top of your lungs and don't organize afterwards. And I want to see it, because I be watching. I want to see the plans. Otherwise, stop with the hissy fits, because that's exactly what they are. You're throwing temper tantrums like little kids scared to lose their favorite toys. And I'm tired of it. I'm not the only one that's tired of it. People who have actually felt oppression, people who have actually witnessed systematic racism and have been fighting for it, are tired of seeing this faux unity. And it's crazy because all I keep hearing is Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, forgetting that it was also the Democratic Party who systematically allowed the election of a Republican Congress and a Republican Senate because of everything they had done before we even got to November 8th. And y'all still talking about Donald Trump. Now, I see that there are members of the party actually going out, like actually official members of the party going out of their way to reform the Democratic Party. And I commend you, because I do see that. But those who are watching from afar, pretending to be engaged, stop. Stop it. We see through you. And it's old. Get off your high horse. Stop worrying about yourself. If you're going to fight, then fight. But fight for what's right. And there are people who will say, well, you weren't out there protesting Syria. You know what? No, I was not out there protesting for Syria. But guess what I do every single day? If you've ever watched my videos, if you've ever followed my pages, I'm always educating people on what's happening in Syria, what's happening in Yemen, what happened in Afghanistan, what happened in Iraq, coming from the perspective of a combat veteran fighting in a military intelligence unit that came from a cavalry squadron. I tell you about what's happening to veterans every day. I speak about education. I talk about the progressive left, the actual left, and the establishment left. I tell you what's happening to Republicans. I will tell you the truth. I can't go out and make every protest because unfortunately the demands of my life won't allow me to. But I'll be damned if I ignore the realities of this world. I've been told you that Brexit did not solely happen because of what was happening in Europe, but because of policies that we helped to set up and execute. So no, I can't protest, but you know what? If you're in New York and I think your protest is legitimate, guess where I'm at? If I'm in town, I am there. And I know a lot of you on this feed are the same way. I understand things from your life can't necessarily won't allow you to get to every protest. That's not what I'm saying. But this is 100,000 people. I'm sure that not all of them have had inconveniences up until yesterday or the day before yesterday. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of oppression being turned into a social media marketing tool. I'm glad you all get to live stream your protest. Look at us. We all think alike. We all voted for Hillary. We're all pissed off she didn't win. Get rid of Trump, and then what? Undermine the Electoral College and democracy, and then what? You have no plan. And then what? You don't know because you haven't been here. Geniuses don't even realize if the Electoral College is split, it goes to the House. And guess who they're going to pick? Donald Trump. You're stuck. These results are consequential of your inaction, and you need to accept that. And guess what? The good thing about having a future, the good thing about education, The good thing about understanding your mistakes is that you can grow from them and we can move forward and we can learn and we can make sure that we don't have a Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton ever again. Ever again. And that starts today. Get out of the damn streets and go organize. I got to go to work. But Lord knows, if I see somebody out in these streets protesting, they're going to hear an earful. It's already happened about 3 or 4 times. The first question I ask you, do you know what happened at the Democratic National Convention? And they always say, well, no. Then why are you protesting? Get out of the streets. Go to the sidewalk, go to your subway, and drive home. Go get your pumpkin spice latte and stop acting like you care. Because you don't care. You want to either look like you care, you want the appearance that you care, or you finally have become fearful of what could happen to you. Because I'm going to be completely honest. A lot of minorities are out there, which I expect. A lot of white women are out there. But the white men that are out there are usually with other minorities. So it's someone that they have personally invested in and emotionally and are emotionally attached to that they also fear could lose their personal sovereignty. And that's no better. That's selfish as well. If I ask you what's happening at North Dakota and you can't tell me, I don't want to hear about you protesting. If I ask you what's happening in Syria, you can't tell me, I don't want to hear. If I ask you what's happening in Yemen, if I ask you what's happening in Venezuela, if I ask you what's happening in Haiti, if I ask you what's happening in Honduras, if I ask you, do you even close to understand what happened in Great Britain and why the British exit happened? If I ask you about what happened in Iraq, if I ask you about what happened to Trump, if I ask you about Trump's political history before this year, because this is stuff that everyone who's been on Facebook over and over and over and over and over again, because they are all hell. Facebook took over all of our lives. Let's be very honest. It did. So you should know. But the problem is you refuse to listen. If I ask you about the content of those emails and you can't tell me and your answer is, but Russia, okay, Donna Brazil, I don't give a shit about Russia. Stop quoting Donna Brazil, stop quoting Hillary Clinton, stop quoting Wolf Blitzer, stop quoting Anderson Cooper. I don't care about them. They don't affect our lives. We affect our lives. So before you grab that sign and take Bernie Sanders' quote and then attribute it to Hillary Clinton saying love Trump's hate, you know what Trump's hate also? Organization and education. If you all want equity, not equality, but equity for yourself, those who are close to you, and those whom you can't necessarily reach by holding out your arm and saying, oh, I can see they're oppressed also. If you want true equity, you achieve that by education and organization. We have to be more educated than they were. And the sad thing is, Hillary Clinton was actually more organized than they were. The issue was, Bernie Sanders was more organized than all of them. And when they took the biggest fish out of the pond, it threw out the ecosystem. And guess what? We got left with a shark. They took the whale out. The only thing the shark was scared of was the damn whale. And guess what happened to all the little organized school of fish? They got ate up. So, sorry for my rambling this morning, but you know, whatever. I'm hot. It's been a long week. I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. It may be stressed. I may be stressed because of this election, but you know what? I don't care. I'm going to always speak my mind. It's my job now, I guess. So I embrace it. It was fantastic talking to you all. Please share this video. Share all my other videos also if you have a good morning.